The world is never fair. Even if you're honest, someone will lie to you. Even if you're good at what you do, someone worse than you will get ahead. That's just how life works. But people who accept this truth stay alive. And people who stay alive become leaders. This is a power you cannot touch, but everyone can feel it. This is dark intelligence. Dark intelligence comes from being hurt, embarrassed, and losing. Other people fall apart, but you become stronger from that hurt. It's the type of smartness that pays attention, looks around, keeps quiet, and acts at just the right time. While others fight, you collect facts. While they lose their temper, you think carefully. While they let feelings take over, you make plans for what's coming next. Most people play a simple game. You're going to learn how to play a harder game. But before we go further, let me make something very clear. This information is to keep you safe, not to hurt others. Use it to guard yourself, not to harm good people. The point is to know the rules, not to become a bad person. Today, you'll learn about 8 mental habits that make the difference between people who survive and people who get hurt, between leaders and followers, between winners and losers. Now, I want you to write this statement in the comments. I choose to be smart with my actions, not controlled by my feelings. Now, let's reveal the secrets that strong people don't want you to learn. Number 1, hiding your true plans. You never make your goals completely clear. You only show what people need to see. When people know only part of the story, they use their imagination to guess the rest. And that imagination controls them. Machiavelli once said, "Everyone sees how you look. Very few know who you really are." Think about the most interesting people you know. They never tell you the whole story. They leave empty spaces in what they say. They answer your questions with more questions. They smile when you think they should explain. This is not about telling lies. This is about talking in a smart way. Here's what happens in most talks. Someone asks you something and you feel like you must give them a full answer. You explain why you do things, what worries you, what you plan to do. You believe you're being honest and making people trust you, but you're really losing your strength. Smart people know that being unclear creates power. When you don't tell everything, people want to know more. Wanting to know more leads to caring. Caring leads to respect, and respect leads to power. Let's say someone asks what you're doing this weekend. Most people say, "Oh, I'm just staying at home, maybe watching some films." That's being totally clear, but it's also totally boring. Instead, you could say, "I have something important to do." Then talk about something else. See the difference? The first answer makes you bored. The second answer makes you interested. This doesn't mean being rude or hiding everything. It means choosing carefully what you share and when you share it. The most successful people in any area understand this rule. They tell just enough to keep people interested, but never enough to lose their advantage. Your information is like money. Don't use it all right away. When you practice hiding your true plans, people start listening more to what you say because they know you don't say everything. Your words matter more because you don't use many of them. Remember, the goal isn't to be unclear just for the sake of it. The goal is to control how people see you and how your relationships work. Number 2, changing how you act with different people. You're not the same person as everyone else. You change yourself based on who you're with. People think they know you, but they only know one side of you. Machiavelli once said, "A prince should be careful that everything he says shows the 5 good qualities mentioned before, so that he appears to everyone who sees and hears him to be completely kind, faithful, caring, honest, and religious." This isn't about being false. This is about getting results. You already do this without thinking. You talk differently to your grandmother than to your friends. You behave differently in a job meeting than at a party. You show different parts of yourself in different places. Changing how you act with different people takes this normal behavior and makes it on purpose. Every person you meet cares about different things, talks in different ways, and thinks about information differently. If you act the same way with everyone, you'll connect with some people and totally miss others. Smart people watch the person they're talking to and change how they talk to match that person. Are they logical? Give them facts and numbers. Are they emotional? Connect with how they feel. Are they practical? Show them how things work. Are they dreamers? Share the big picture with them. This isn't trickery. This is being good at talking to people. Think about water. Water takes the shape of whatever holds it. but it never stops being water. It's still water whether it's in a cup, a bottle, or a lake. Changing how you act works the same way. You change how you show yourself to fit the situation, but you never change your main beliefs and values. The mistake most people make is thinking they need to be real in the same way with everyone. But being real doesn't mean acting the same everywhere. It means being truly yourself while changing how you express yourself to work best. When you master changing how you act with different people, you become someone who can get along with anyone. People feel like you get them because you're speaking in a way they understand. This skill becomes very powerful when making deals, leading people, and building friendships. You're not trying to force people to understand you. You're making it easy for them to connect with you. But here's the warning. Never change so much that you forget who you are. Your beliefs, your honesty, your main values should never change. Only how you show yourself should change. The strongest people are like diamonds. They have many sides, but there's still one solid piece. Number 3, not needing things too much. You're not controlled by any relationship, feeling, or what people think. What you're not scared to lose cannot control you. What cannot tie you down cannot trick you either. Machiavelli once said, "Since love and fear rarely go together, if we must pick one, it's much safer to be feared than loved." Not needing things too much is probably the most mixed up idea in dark intelligence. People think it means being cold or not caring. It doesn't. It means being free. Most people are controlled by what they're attached to. They're scared to lose their job, so they let people treat them badly. They're scared to lose a relationship, so they give up their beliefs. They're scared to lose people's approval, so they say what people want to hear instead of what should be said. Being scared of losing makes you weak. Being free from that fear makes you strong. This doesn't mean you shouldn't care about anything. It means you shouldn't desperately need anything. Imagine this. 2 people are discussing a business deal. Person A really needs this deal to happen. They're depending on it. They've already made plans, thinking it will work. Person B wants the deal to happen, but they have other choices. They're ready to walk away if the terms aren't good. Who do you think has more power in that talk? Person B, clearly, because they're not attached to what happens. They can discuss from strong position. Not needing things too much gives you clear thinking. When you're not emotionally tied to being right, you can see things more clearly. When you're not desperate for approval, you can make better choices. When you're not afraid of being alone, you can pick better relationships. The strange truth is this. The less you need something, the more likely you are to get it. Think about confident people. They're not confident because everything always works out for them. They're confident because they know they'll be fine even if things don't work out. That's the power of not needing things too much. Now, this doesn't mean being careless or not caring at all. You should still work hard for your goals and care about the people in your life, but you should never be so attached to any result that you lose your ability to think clearly and act smartly. Not needing things too much also keeps you safe from trickery. When someone tries to scare you by saying they'll take away something you're not afraid to lose, their threat has no power. The most dangerous person in any room is someone who has nothing to lose. But the most powerful person in any room is someone who has everything to gain and nothing to fear. Practice this slowly. Start with small things. Don't be so attached to winning every fight. Don't be so attached to everyone liking you. Don't be so attached to your plans working out exactly as you imagined. As you grow this skill, you'll notice something interesting. People start treating you with more respect. They feel that you can't be easily controlled, and that makes them respect you. Remember, not needing things too much isn't about not caring. It's about caring without letting that care control you. Number 4, quiet power. You don't push people directly, you wait. When people make errors and become weak, your quiet presence becomes the strongest influence in a room. Machiavelli once said, "Nothing great was ever done without risk." Most people think power is loud. They think it's about raising your voice, telling people what to do, and forcing others to do what you want. That's beginner's thinking. Real power is quiet. Quiet power is the skill of creating influence without saying anything. It's about putting yourself in a place where just being there changes how things work. Here's how it works. Instead of telling people what to do, you create situations where they naturally want to do what helps you. Instead of demanding respect, you make yourself necessary. Instead of fighting for power, you make people give it to you willingly. Let's explain this with real examples. In talks, quiet power means knowing when to stop talking. Most people feel uncomfortable with silence, so they fill it with words. Often those words show more than they meant to share. When you're comfortable with silence, you control how the conversation moves. Next time someone asks you a hard question, don't answer right away. Stop. Look at them thoughtfully. Let the silence last for a few seconds, then give your answer. Watch how it changes how important your response feels. In making deals, quiet power means having other options that you don't need to mention. When the other person knows you have choices, they discuss differently. You don't have to say you'll leave. Your readiness to leave is enough. In relationships, quiet power means being the person who makes things better without asking for credit. When you always make other people's lives better, they naturally want to keep you around. You don't have to demand loyalty. You earn it through what you do. At work, quiet power means becoming the person everyone asks for help. You don't announce that you're the problem fixer. You just fix problems regularly until everyone knows they can count on you. The secret to quiet power is being patient. You're not looking for quick results. You're building long-term influence. Most people want instant rewards. They want to see results right away from their work. But quiet power works differently. You plant seeds and wait for them to grow. You make investments and wait for them to pay off. This needs a different way of thinking. You have to be comfortable with waiting for rewards. You have to trust that your regular actions will eventually create the influence you're looking for. What happens when you master quiet power? People start coming to you for advice without you offering it. They start wanting your approval without you demanding it. They start following your lead without you asking them to. You become the quiet force that shapes results without anyone knowing it's happening. But there's an important right and wrong point here. Quiet power should never be used to trick people into doing things that hurt them. The goal is to create situations where everyone benefits. The most right way to use quiet power is to guide people toward better choices for themselves and others. You're not fooling them. You're leading them toward results that help everyone. Remember, quiet power is not sitting back and doing nothing. You're still taking action. You're still making moves. You're just doing it quietly and smartly instead of loudly and obviously. Number 5, reflecting people back to themselves. You show people their deepest needs and fears. They think you're speaking their language, but actually you're gaining understanding and influence. Machiavelli once said, "People judge more by what they see than by what they touch." Because everyone can see and few can feel. Everyone sees how you appear. Few really know who you are. Reflecting people back to themselves is about becoming a mirror that shows back what people need to see and hear. This isn't about lying. It's about deep understanding and smart talking. People don't buy things, services, or ideas. They buy answers to their problems and get what they want. When you can find and show back their real needs, you become very valuable to them. Most people are terrible at this because they're too focused on what they want to say instead of what the other person needs to hear. Let me explain how reflecting people back to themselves works in real life. First, you have to become a student of how people work. You need to understand that everyone you meet is carrying invisible problems, secret wants, and hidden fears. Your job is to listen for hints about what those might be. When someone talks about their work, they're not just sharing facts. They're showing how they see themselves, what matters to them, and what worries them. When someone talks about their relationships, they're showing you their emotional patterns and their deepest needs. Most people listen to reply. You need to listen to understand. Here's a useful plan. Every person you meet is asking 3 quiet questions. Do you see me? Do you understand me? Do you value me? When you can answer yes to all 3 of those questions through your words and actions, you create a powerful connection. The reflecting technique means showing back not just what people say, but what they mean. You listen for the feeling behind the words, the need behind the complaint, the fear behind the anger. For example, if someone says, "I hate my job," most people might reply with advice about finding a new job. But if you listen deeper, you might hear that they actually feel unappreciated, not challenged enough, or unsure about their future. A reflecting response might be, It sounds like you're not feeling valued for what you do, or it seems like you're ready for something that challenges you more. See the difference? Instead of jumping to answers, you're showing back their emotional experience. This makes people feel understood, which creates trust and influence. The key is to show back the positive side of what they're expressing. If someone is complaining about having too much to do, you might reflect back on their hard work and high standards. If someone is expressing frustration about a situation, you might reflect back their desire for excellence. This technique works because people have a deep need to feel understood. When you show that you truly see them, they automatically trust you more and value what you say more. But here's where it gets really powerful. Once you understand someone's main needs and fears, you can present your ideas, suggestions, and requests in ways that naturally appeal to them. If someone values safety, you present your ideas in terms of security and stability. If someone values being recognized, you present your ideas in terms of achievement and praise. If someone values freedom, you present your ideas in terms of independence and choice. You're not changing your message. You're changing how you present your message to match their mental picture. This is very powerful in leading, selling, parenting, and relationships. When people feel like you understand them deeply, they naturally want to work with you, follow you, and support you. The right way to reflect people back to themselves is to truly care about understanding people and helping them get what they need. When you use this technique to serve others' best interests, it becomes a tool for building stronger, more meaningful friendships. Number 6, unclear right and wrong. You're neither good nor bad. You just get things done. Real power doesn't always come in clear choices. Sometimes it lives in the unclear areas. Machiavelli once said, "Since it's hard to have both together, it's safer to be feared than to be loved when one of the two must be missing." This is the most argued about trait of dark intelligence, and it's the one that gets mixed up the most. So, let me be very clear about what this means and what it doesn't mean. Unclear right and wrong doesn't mean having no morals. It doesn't mean doing whatever you want no matter what happens. It doesn't mean hurting people to get ahead. What it means is understanding that the real world is complicated. Sometimes doing the right thing now leads to worse results later. Sometimes being nice lets bad behavior continue. Sometimes protecting people means making choices that aren't pretty. Here's the truth. Being completely clear about right and wrong is a luxury that most people can't afford when they're dealing with complicated situations with real results. Let me give you some examples to show this idea. Imagine you're a leader and you discover that a team member has been lying to customers regularly and damaging relationships. The nice thing to do might be to give them another chance, give them more training, and hope they get better. But what about the other team members who are working honestly? What about the customers who are being lied to? What about the long-term health of the organization? Someone with unclear right and wrong might decide that protecting the many people is more important than being nice to the one person. They might make the hard choice to remove that person from the team, even though it feels harsh. This isn't being cruel. These are practical morals. For example, someone asks you for advice about a relationship that you can see is harmful and destructive. The kind thing to do might be to be supportive and avoid saying anything negative. But someone with unclear right and wrong might decide that true kindness means telling the difficult truth, even if it temporarily hurts the person's feelings. The main rule here is focusing on results rather than how things look. Sometimes the action that looks good on the surface creates bad results. Sometimes the action that looks harsh on the surface creates better results for everyone involved. This needs a different kind of moral thinking. Instead of asking what action makes me look like a good person, you ask what action leads to the best results for the most people. It also means taking responsibility for the results of your choices, even when those choices are hard or unpopular. But here's the important difference. Unclear right and wrong is not the same as selfishness. You're not doing whatever helps you at others' expense. You're making practical choices that serve the greater good, even when those choices are personally hard. This trait also means understanding that different situations need different responses. The same action that's wrong in one situation might be necessary in another situation. For example, being completely honest might be the right way in a close personal relationship, but it might work against you in certain work discussions where smart sharing of information is more effective. Someone with unclear right and wrong understands these details and changes their way accordingly. The danger of this trait is that it can be used to excuse selfish or harmful behavior. That's why it's important to keep clear moral guidelines about what you will and won't do even in complicated situations. My advice is to set clear limits for yourself. What are your values that never change? What lines will you never cross? What results are you willing to accept responsibility for? Within those limits, give yourself permission to be practical and smart, even when it means making choices that others might not understand or agree with. Remember, the goal is not to be liked by everyone. The goal is to be effective and moral in a complicated world where simple answers don't always work. Number 7, controlling what you reveal. You don't tell everything about yourself. The less people know, the more they guess, and guesses lead to mistakes that make your plan easier. Machiavelli once said, "People are so simple-minded and so controlled by their immediate needs that a lying person will always find plenty of people who are ready to be lied to." In a world where people share every detail of their lives online, controlling what you reveal might seem old-fashioned, but it's actually more powerful than ever. When everyone is sharing too much, the person who shares smartly stands out. When everyone is announcing their thoughts and feelings, the person who keeps some mystery becomes interesting. Controlling what you reveal is about being purposeful with your personal information. It's about understanding that not everyone needs to know everything about you, and that choosing carefully what to share can actually make your relationships stronger and increase your influence. Let's start with the mind science behind this. Humans are naturally curious. When we see something incomplete or mysterious, our brains automatically try to fill in the missing parts. This is called the curiosity gap, and it's one of the most powerful forces in human behavior. When you practice controlling what you reveal, you create curiosity gaps that make people more interested in you and pay more attention to what you do share. Think about the most fascinating people you know. They probably don't tell you everything. They share enough to keep you interested, but they leave you wanting to know more. This isn't by accident, it's on purpose. Now, let's talk about real uses at work. Controlling what you reveal means choosing carefully which ideas you share and when you share them. It means not showing all your abilities at once. It means keeping some of your knowledge saved so you can provide value when it's most needed. For example, instead of showing all your skills in the first week of a new job, you might show them slowly over time. This creates the impression that you're always growing and getting better rather than someone who showed their best too early. In social situations, controlling what you reveal means not telling your whole life story to everyone you meet. It means sharing personal information slowly as relationships grow and trust is earned. This doesn't mean being secretive or dishonest. It means being selective and smart about what you tell and to whom in making deals. Controlling what you reveal means not telling all your priorities and limits up front. It means keeping some information saved so you can use it smartly as the discussion develops. The main rule is this: information told can never be untold. Once people know something about you, they can't unknow it. So, it's better to lean toward telling too little rather than too much. But controlling what you reveal goes beyond just holding back information. It's also about timing. The same piece of information can have completely different effects depending on when it's told. For example, showing a particular skill or achievement early in a relationship might seem like bragging, but showing the same information later when it's relevant to solving a problem makes you seem humble and helpful. Controlling what you reveal also means understanding your audience. Different people need to know different things about you. Your level of sharing should match the relationship and the situation. Your closest friends and family members should know more about you than your casual friends. Your business partners should know different things about you than your competitors. Your employees should know different things about you than your equals. This isn't about being false or tricky. It's about being appropriate and smart with your personal information. Here's another important part. Controlling what you reveal includes managing your digital footprint. Everything you post online, every comment you make, every photo you share becomes part of your permanent record. People will form opinions about you based on this information, often without ever meeting you. Smart people are purposeful about their online presence. They understand that their digital persona is part of their overall plan for how they want to be seen and remembered. The goal of controlling what you reveal is not to be mysterious for the sake of being mysterious. The goal is to keep control over your story and your relationships. When you share information smartly, you can guide how people see you. You can emphasize the parts of your personality and experience that are most relevant to your current goals. You can avoid being labeled or judged based on incomplete information. But here's the balance you need to keep. You want to share enough to build real connections with people, but not so much that you lose your smart advantage. The most successful people understand this balance. They're open and genuine in their relationships, but they're also smart about how much they tell and when they tell it. Number 8, being obsessed with results. You're not here to win fights or prove things. You're here to get results. People who focus only on results never waste time on unnecessary games. Machiavelli once said, "The promise given was needed in the past. The word broken is needed in the present." This is the trait that separates beginners from professionals, dreamers from achievers, and talkers from doers. Most people get distracted by things that don't matter. They want to be right more than they want to be effective. They want to look good more than they want to get results. They want to feel good about their process more than they want to reach their goals. Being obsessed with results cuts through all of that noise. When you're obsessed with results, you ask different questions. Instead of how can I prove I'm right, you ask what result am I trying to reach? Instead of how I can look good in this situation, you ask what actions will lead to the result I want. This change in thinking changes everything. Let's start with arguments and disagreements. Most people treat arguments like they're trying to win a debate. They focus on proving their point, catching the other person in mistakes, and showing their better knowledge or logic. But people obsessed with results treat disagreements differently. They ask, what do I actually want to achieve from this talk? Maybe they want to change the other person's behavior. Maybe they want to reach a compromise. Maybe they want to gather information about the other person's view. Once they're clear on their wanted result, they choose their way accordingly. Sometimes that means winning the argument, but often it means something completely different. For example, if your goal is to change someone's behavior, proving them wrong might actually work against you. People don't like being wrong, and they often become more stubborn when they feel attacked. A better way might be to help them reach the right conclusion on their own. If your goal is to keep a good relationship while addressing a problem, being right might be less important than finding a solution that everyone can accept. This applies to every area of life. At work, being obsessed with results means focusing on what actually moves the business forward rather than what makes you look smart or important. It means choosing projects based on their effect rather than how visible they are. It means making choices based on data and results rather than politics and preferences. In personal relationships, being obsessed with results means focusing on the health and happiness of the relationship rather than who's right or wrong in any particular disagreement. It means choosing your battles based on what actually matters rather than reacting to every small irritation. In personal growth, being obsessed with results means measuring your progress by actual results rather than effort or intentions. It means being honest about what's working and what isn't, even when that's uncomfortable. Here's where being obsessed with results gets really powerful. It helps you avoid the trap of looking busy without being productive. Many people confuse activity with achievement. They think that working hard automatically leads to good results. But people obsessed with results understand that you can work very hard on the wrong things and get nowhere. They're constantly asking, is this activity actually moving me toward my goal, or am I just staying busy to avoid the more difficult but more important work? This leads to what I call smart laziness. People obsessed with results often appear to do less than others because they're selective about where they put their energy. They focus on the 20% of activities that produce 80% of the results. They're not trying to be the hardest worker. They're trying to be the most effective worker. This also applies to learning and skill growth. Instead of trying to learn everything about everything, people obsessed with results focus on developing the specific skills that will have the biggest effect on their goals. They ask, what's the minimum I need to learn to get maximum results? This isn't about being lazy or taking shortcuts. It's about being smart and efficient. Now, here's an important warning about being obsessed with results. It can become destructive if you lose sight of your values and relationships in chasing results. The healthiest way is to be obsessed with results within moral limits. Your wanted results should include keeping your honesty, treating people well, and contributing positively to the world around you. When these values are built into your definition of success, being obsessed with results becomes a powerful force for good. Another key part of being obsessed with results is the readiness to change direction when something isn't working. Most people get attached to their plans and strategies, even when those plans aren't producing results. People obsessed with results are attached to their goals, not their methods. If one way isn't working, they try a different way. If one strategy isn't effective, they develop a new strategy. They're not stubborn about how they reach their results. They're only stubborn about reaching the results themselves. This flexibility makes them incredibly adaptable and tough. When circumstances change, they adjust their way. When new information becomes available, they update their strategy. The final goal of being obsessed with results is to become someone who consistently gets things done. Not someone who talks about getting things done. Not someone who looks like they're getting things done. Someone who actually produces results in the real world. This reputation becomes very valuable over time. When people know you as someone who delivers on your promises and reaches your goals, they start bringing you better opportunities, better partnerships, and better problems to solve. You've just learned the 8 traits of dark intelligence. But knowledge without using it is worthless. Pick one trait that spoke to you the most. For the next 7 days, practice that trait in your daily interactions. Don't try to master all 8 at once. Focus on one. Notice how people respond to you differently. Notice how you feel when you approach situations with smart intelligence instead of emotional reactions. But remember what we talked about at the beginning. This power comes with responsibility. Use these insights to protect yourself, not to harm others. Use them to create better results for everyone, not just for yourself. The world needs more smartly intelligent people who use their knowledge morally. People who can see through trickery and protect themselves and others from it. People who can handle complicated situations and find solutions that serve the greater good. That's the true purpose of dark intelligence. Not to become a trickster, but to become someone who can't be tricked. Not to gain power over others, but to gain power over yourself and your circumstances. The most dangerous person in any room is someone with nothing to lose. But the most valuable person in any room is someone who understands human psychology and uses that understanding to make everyone's life better. Which kind of person do you choose to be? If this video changed how you think about intelligence and power, hit that like button. If you want more content about psychology, strategy, and human behavior, subscribe and ring the notification bell. Drop a comment and let me know which of these 8 traits do you see in the most successful people around you, and which one are you going to practice first. Until next time, remember, true intelligence isn't just about being smart. It's about being wise enough to use your intelligence in service of something greater than yourself. Stay smart, stay moral, and stay powerful.